Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, to, that's a much better than Chris Avalone, who's apparently a that's a much better than Chris Avalone, who's apparently a that's a much better than Chris Avalone is a purport. But yeah, make a red Chris Avalone joke. He's the game designer behind a lot of like really formative CRPGs like Planescape Torment,
Oh, okay.
Fallout.
I got
Like,
you.
he's apparently a very talented narrative designer and a fucking creep.
Sick. Tight.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's only one of many people who's involved with it. But the guy got Me Too'd into oblivion. I'll just put it that much.
God
yeah,
damn, that's not good.
right? That's awesome. Yeah, I have Baldur's Gate 2 and Throne of Ball like in CD cases in my stowed away in my closet. It's pretty great. Like I am such a fossil at this point in my life. I have memories of a friend asking if he could borrow to burn them. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. We should get Steve on here. Like I play video games with the Irishman sometimes, but I haven't gotten him to I haven't gotten into tabletop games with him yet.
Hello. Welcome
Hello.
to Terra Mundi. You don't.
How's it going? It's great to join.
Yep. Yeah. Sure. So if you've been following us over the last couple of weeks, obviously last week we were back to sort of our usual shtick, but before that, for a few weeks, we were playing another world building game called Microscope, which is where you're literally building the timeline leading up to this calamitous event. For us, it was the collapse, the rise of this sort of metal, semi-organic, fast-spreading quick reef that basically engulfs the world and destroys the world as it's known. So that is the timeline leading up to this world-ending, earth-shattering event. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be, over the next few weeks probably, is we're going to be filling out the timeline following the end of that collapse. So when the dust is cleared, when all of the damage, the majority of the damage has been done, how do people rebuild? And how do we get from EBA in collapse to something a little bit closer to the EBA that we know in the world of Vault Peddlers? That's going to be our goal by the end of this. Is we're going to have, at least for one of our cities that we outlined in previous sessions, how did we get to where we are? Yeah.
Huh. Okay, cool. And for your audience's awareness, I'm going into this pretty much blind, so this is cool. If I like completely misunderstand any of the lore setting, please correct me before I go like completely off the map.
And to be fair, we figure, and to, and also to
Mhm.
be fair, we forget our own lore literally all the time. So-
Nice. Yeah, I love DM amnesia.
oh God. Oh, it was so good.
Mhm.
was
Amazing.
shit.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, quick question. I'm looking at just a flyer for the Quiet Year. Am I supposed to be looking at a map?
Yeah. So
Okay,
in terms of like what I'm seeing right now, okay, yeah, roll 20 loading. I'm
there we
seeing
go.
a sidebar of 4 cards, and
Yep.
I see what looks like a map that is loading, or rather a large
It's a
golden
big empty
square.
sheet. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Hmm. 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 Yeah. Hmm. Great.
Okay.
I'll see what you guys do. Like, I'll just sort of like follow your lead a bit. Let me just say from the outset, in terms of like what goes under scarcity, I hope that doesn't include water. Anyway, putting that out there.
Mm,
Yeah. Hmm. Huh. Yeah, that is it's conceptually really cool. Like I not to like, just gotta go off script too much here, but like I've worked in like war games and like simulation building before. And like this sounds like a really cool opportunity to like again, it sounds like the premise is to imagine like how a community rebuilds after disaster. So yeah, let's go for it.
I like that. Okay. So I am going to say up here in the northeast corner of the map, I'm going to say that there is I'll put like a mountain range. It's basically like a series of like stepped mountains. Um, and that kind of occupies sort of this general corner. And okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Hang on one second here. Uh, draw shape, freehand. Oh shit! I don't think I can erase it. Can I? Hang on. Oh yeah, I can. We're good. Yeah, I can do that. For some reason, it is not letting me delete this. Like I right click on it and it's doing nothing. Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. Um, okay, cool. And so I can pick a resource and it can be abundant or it can be scarce. Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm okay. So I'm going to say I don't think I actually want to touch water yet. Um, I'm gonna say clay for building.
Hmm.
Okay, no, I got you. Did she wake up sweaty again?
Yeah, I was gonna ask who was a little one in the house, and that's very adorable. Um,
We yeah, we came I got on for the stream last week and Corey was like, my just so everybody knows, my niece is very mad. And I was like, what happened? Like, is she okay? And he was just like, she just said that she woke up sweaty. And I was like, yeah, I get it.
that
That is the appropriate response.
Yeah, completely healthy. That's also one of the great thing about kids is like when they discover like life's minor inconveniences, they're very very shocked when they happen. It's like humidity. What the fuck? What cruel god brought this upon me? Hmm.
Well, goddamn. Okay.
Huh.
And what's the
Nice.
resource you're going for? Fear. Sure. All
Hmm.
right. All right. Adam, all you.
Cool. Good to know. So again, I'm just to kind of like get a feel for the rules here. Do the resources fall under a particular category? Like we have food, we have water. Okay, you could basically fly with anything. Um, cool. And again, this setting is like based off of like the after an apocalyptic or cataclysmic event,
Yeah.
which means there's a certain degree of technical civilization that precedes this.
Real quick, Corey, would it help if Adam understood what the actual calamity was? Should we go more into that?
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so it used to surround this island called Tau, and these scientists came up with this really innovative way to get around it and destroy it. But in doing so, they basically dislodged it and set it
Oh.
loose on the rest of the world. Um,
Hmm.
so it's literally just like this, like razor sharp coral reef that is ever expanding, always growing, and by the time of the calamity, moving out of the water and onto the land, making it just unlivable.
Hmm.
Oh, also that.
Yeah, that'll definitely have some impacts. Okay, so this one I'm considering going with something that is from the prior era that is not a natural resource, but
Okay.
is something that will potentially have kind of a high risk, high reward situation where you have a potentially an abandoned military installation that is likely very heavily mined, has a lot of like potentially undetonated explosives, very dangerous to traverse, but it also has a lot of pre-war technology, metals, oil, things like that. So I'm going to draw this, and we already said are in kind of a desert biome. Um, so draw a shape. I'm going to go with I think a square.
Okay.
Um, Feel free to move it if you would like. Kind of like a small, sort of former abandoned military installation down about there. Hmm. Yeah. Nope, vetoed. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
So is this a thing where like we each just cast a vote, or do we discuss it? Okay. Well, that's why I was asking, is because I know that it's not a normal feature of the game. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm stuck between either for scarce, either the pre-war weaponry or the clay.
Hmm.
I think that it makes sense that the clay would be scarce because it's a desert. You probably don't get a lot of moisture. You probably don't get a lot of water. Um, at the same time, the pre-war weaponry, it seems like a place like that would have been the first place to be
Hmm.
just totally excavated by survivors.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Sand
Hmm.
locusts, I can see there being a fuckload of those.
Yeah, like especially if like we're in the middle of an ecological catastrophe and like various like entire
Yeah,
ecological chains break down, it wouldn't be a shock if locusts were the victors of that one. You know, considering these are
right.
fucking locusts. Yeah, yeah. So I'm
Bro,
with
I
you
am
there, Taylor.
thriving.
Locusts stay winning.
Be
Yeah.
be your best locust self.
Yeah. Swarming my best life. Yeah.
Future generations of locusts will look back and be like, "Oh, I was born in the wrong generation."
Yeah. The greatest generation of a biblical plague. We weren't the same insects our grandfathers were.
Okay, Dooner. Dooner.
Nice. Mhm. Maybe. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to our future agricultural projects.
Yeah.
Like, I'm imagining, like, is it we try to, like, grow, wheat or millet like a bunch of dumbasses and realize it gets eaten by the locusts, so we build a society off of just eating locusts.
Yeah,
I,
we've already set ourselves up for this. All of Ishtas's culinary cuisine, traditionally, it's fucking locusts. It's Dooners.
it's locust based, yeah.
Welcome to Duna Burger, home of the Duna Burger. May I take your order?
The great, my grandpappy was a locust farmer. Would wake up every day to feed his herd, and I'd hear the chittering from a mile away. Yeah, and it starts like a multi-generation Hatfield and McCoy, blood feud.
Okay. Okay. Now, am I drawing from winter is last, right? When you hover over them, it says autumn, winter. No, I can't see the cards themselves. It just says the name of the season, and then it says draw.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm drawing from autumn. Oh yeah, it would be. I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's right. That's how the time goes. Okay. What do I got here? 9 of spring. A charismatic young girl convinces many to help her with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect. Or a charismatic young girl tries to tempt many into sinful or dangerous activity. Why does she do this? And how does the community respond? I think that a charismatic young girl tries to convince members of the surviving community, whatever we're calling that, if it's Ishtas now or Ishtas later. I think that she is convinced that the hole that's out in the middle of the desert is growing, and it's going to continue pulling things into it. And I think that she is going to try and convince members of the community to try and move whatever remains in that abandoned military base to the top of those cliffs to try and get away from it as much as they can. I don't know how that works, but that's where my head goes. She's trying to, tries to tempt many into sinful or dangerous activity. My whole idea is that it's super dangerous to be lugging all of that material up these very steep cliffs with no real, way down. So I don't, yeah. Well, so to be clear, it only says to start a project to reflect if it's with an elaborate scheme. Now, granted, you can say this is also an elaborate scheme. It's kind of a little bit of both, depending on how you interpret it. Um. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't prepared for this level of responsibility. I just wanted to make Dooner jokes.
Now we have to think.
Now I have to do shit. This is dumb.
Yeah, thank you, charismatic young girl.
Um, I'm actually going to go ahead and say that I'm going to say the community is split. I'm going to say that half of them agree to take what belongs to them and move up to the top of these cliffs, and half of them decide to stay. And I'll say that that is a project that seems like it'd be short, like 2 weeks. Okay, then yeah, I'm gonna say that that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. So I'm gonna draw. Um. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
cool.
and I'm just gonna, I guess, just make an arrow here. I really don't know how to represent this, but I feel like that works. Okay. Okay. And what do you want me to do with these cards once we're done with them? Okay. Oh, we're dumb. Hey, wait. Bring it back and put it where the arrow is. And that way we can just have that project reminder there.
Also, Corey, I may have accidentally drawn a rectangle. If you can delete my imposing rectangle, that would be sweet. Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, who are quite literally glassing people. That definitely raises the stakes. Let's hope they don't get too close to the duders. I don't want to have like an entire field of just like glass locusts just like covering the horizon.
Electric bugs.
Hmm. Huh. Oh, cool. Corey, I'm just gonna butt in and say, when you first drew that, I thought you were drawing a sandworm, and I was like, did Corey
I thought it
discover
was. I
discover a shy halud? Like, are we?
I thought it was the tail of a sand whale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Did we discover white space Islam? Like,
Oh, hang on. Corey froze for me. I'm gonna re-roll real quick.
uh,
Hey, sorry if I messed up your like placement stuff on OBS. Okay, cool. Um,
cool. So I draw from the spring deck. All right. And someone new arrives, or two of the community's younger members get into a fight. What provoked them? Oh, this could be interesting. This could be really interesting. Someone new arrives. Um, ooh, okay. Um, I think I'll go with the first one. Someone arrives from a adjacent region who claims to have been an original inhabitant of this part of the world, who claims to have grown up here and possesses special insights about the nature of the land, and even can pretend or even claims, whether or not this can be verified or uncertain, have a certain ability to predict the future. Like basically, almost like ascribes to themselves minor prophetic and prescient abilities about like where kind of the ecology and the environment will go, and also hints they might be able to find resources that aren't discovered. You have no way of telling whether or not this person is a charlatan or has some like genuine like understanding of the terrain, but they have arrived and have taken, caught a lot of attention in this community. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I'd say that makes sense.
okay. Yeah, I'm actually updating it right now. Sorry, one sec. No. Okay, so abundance, we have underground sand locusts, duners. Scarcity, we have clay, pre-war weaponry, and now knowledge of area knowledge.
And apparently a charismatic little girl who may or may not be able to start fires with her mind.
Just charismatic girl things.
Yeah, you know. Stephen King called. He wants his IP back.
Tune in next
Whoa,
week.
whoa, Corey, who are you? Who are you?
King.
Me in college? Anyway.
Yeah. So the honest truth is the people who go up to the top of this building, like they're kind of set in this belief that the do we have a name for this giant hole, or do I just call it the hole? Whisperwell? Okay. So they are convinced the Whisperwell is eventually going to expand and grow. They get to the top of these cliffs and they realize that there is not like a lot of resources. Like at the top of these steps, like they basically just have like very sparse vegetation, not really any livestock or anything like that that they can live off of. So I think that they become like mountain hermits. And as rough as life is for them up there, I think that they like will sometimes come down like onto like the lower sands to sort of hunt and gather. But I think that they become a separate community. Like I think that they become a separate community that like over time as like these generations evolve, like they have this constant belief that the people down at the bottom are dooming themselves.
Hmm.
Sure.
So, in terms of like this card, I'm playing off the card that I drew and the scenario I laid out. Would something? Yeah, courts don't have to, but something I'm wondering is something as simple as like the development of a cult of personality around this arrival. Would that be a project, or would that be?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll just sit on that for a turn then. Actually, no, I'll discover something. Um, and that is also one you can kind of freeform. Okay. Okay. This one is just could be a little bit of a shot in the dark, but there is just incidentally a discover of a small reservoir of geothermic energy, heat energy, in a oddly kind of remote location. Like maybe that's why it wasn't as quickly found. But I will say you have like the equivalent of some kind of geothermic heat well. Right? How does this work? In like the bottom left corner of the map. Yeah, that's the kind of the oval down there. Definitely. Let me. How does one change the color of your cursor here? Yeah.
It's got like a secondary menu where you can yeah, you got it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and draw. Okay, two of autumn. Oh no! Oh no! Fuck! Nobody look! What do I do?
I like the art direction for this.
Oh yeah, it's very cool. Can I put you back? Why? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Um, okay. Queen of Spring. What's the most beautiful thing in this area, or what's the most hideous thing in this area? Um, sure. So, oh, okay. So this is something that it only happens like once a month. It has to do with like the stars aligning and creating this really sort of beautiful vision. But there's this one spot just to the south, right about here, where if you sit at the top of these dunes, from like roughly, I'm going to say like 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night, on the third moon of the new month, you are treated to this just fantastic light show. It can't be seen anywhere else in EVA, but it is the transference of all of this cosmic energy as it bounces across the atmosphere of the planet. And it creates not just like shapes and colors, but like actual images, like images that sort of dance across the skies.
Nice. Yeah. So almost like a really interesting version of like desert aurora borealis, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And nobody. Yeah, it's called Dancing with the Stars, actually.
Yeah, every 6 months you can see Tucker Carlson awkwardly doing the cha-cha across the horizon.
No,
I mean, I would rather not. That actually is the most hideous thing in the area.
I was
anyway,
going to say, it is both the most beautiful and the most hideous thing, all at the same time.
Oh my god.
So nobody. The other thing is, when I say images, I mean it literally is like recognizable images in the sky. Nobody knows what causes them to happen this way, but I think that it plays really well with our prophetic character and our separatist character, telling sort of their stories.
Huh. Nice.
I'm just gonna put that here. Oh, and I probably need to mark that spot, don't I? Sure. I'm going to go ahead and say we do need to start another project. And I'm going to say that there are some explorers who are starting after a little while of living here. They are starting to get worried about water. And I think they're going to start building a rope long enough to go down into the Whisper Well, because they're convinced that there's water at the bottom of it. And I don't know, this is the thing I never really understood about the Quiet Year. How do you assess how long it takes? Like, well, that's the thing. But for any project, couldn't I just say like 1 week and then like, okay, so it's just basically honor system. Okay. I am literally just putting a bucket at the end of a rope, so I don't know. 1 week. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, I don't get the sense this is a logistically complicated project.
No, not yet. Anyways, it might develop into that depending on what the first project finds. But bucket rope for the Whisper Well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that almost sounds like a what's his name, Tom Waits song. Bucket roll right down the Whisper Well. I'm Tom Waits, and I was raised in a smokehouse.
Bucket rope. Okay, go ahead. I dare you to fucking put a giant lake like 3 feet from where the bucket is. And they're just like, no, no, we got to go down here. That water's bad.
It's the bad water. Actually, it's the water that the locusts spawn in.
Yeah, they just don't see it. They're like, man, I wish there was some water here. I guess we'll go into this fucking well.
Uh, it's yeah.
Not yet.
My dad is Tom Waits. Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, well, it also looks like a robot that was designed only for like winning crane machine games at like arcades. Like, it's a tragic creature that was raised that was designed only to like win crane arcade games and struggles to like become more.
All your AirPods are belong to us.
Yeah. Yeah. My cat does not obey the rules of man or civilization.
Nor should he.
Yeah, he's adorable.
Okay. Man, I'm tempted to give them something good, but like I don't feel like it's good. I like just in my soul, I don't feel like the noises coming out of the whisper well are probably good news for our researchers. So oh, is it a lack of noises? Oh shit, never mind. I thought that it was noises coming out of them. Okay, then in that case, okay, here's what they find. It's not water. But what they do find is that the whisper well opens up into this gigantic cavern, which appears to have all of these like intersectional cross caverns and tunnels, like dug through the bottom of the earth like Swiss cheese. And the walls of these caverns are coated with this sort of like earthen rocky material that is a sound absorber.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
It's like super porous. And so it like just basically soaks up all of like the sound waves that it's given. Yeah. Well, no, that'd be under abundance. Like it's Oh, yeah, I guess once we do another project, we can make it in abundance. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's tight. I love that. Yeah.
Hmm. You should just put a huge glass like cylinder over the heat vents.
Hey, look, we don't have water, but you know what we do have?
Yeah. Yeah. I discovered jam bands in the desert.
I don't have water, but you know what I do have is this Rush album from the 1980s.
Actually, you know what the whispers are? It's the sound of Tom Sawyer playing on repeat from within the earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that as being a bigger one. Okay.
I do too. Like I've Geddy Lee's voice playing in loop in my head. Also, you know what's kind of funny is, at least on my screen, Taylor, like your video feed is on a significant delay. So like after we have a funny bit, 2 minutes later, your picture is cracking up at a totally random moment.
Yeah, it's when we move on from the joke, and then somebody starts talking about, like, you know, their dead relative or something, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that reminds me of Neil Peart. And then, like, you know, our Rush joke from 2 minutes ago is playing, and, like, Taylor is cracking up. It's like, yes, I know he was a libertarian, but isn't it fair to laugh at his death?
Some people, so this is like American Idol, and I'm the Simon Cowell. I'm setting myself up as the villain of this stream. They'll love the two of you more because of it.
Yeah, because who's on American Idol right now is Adam Levine, the Maroon 5 guy on it. Yeah, I promise I'll be the Adam Levine, but I promise not to be nearly as shirtless as he is. It's fun. I figured that would kind of make the mood a little weird. Yeah.
Corey is our Adam Levine, clearly.
That's impressive. Like I'm in a tank top half the time nowadays. Card and then project or discovery. Cool. Okay.
Okay.
Project discovery. All right, I'm going to drag out a card from the springtime deck here. What important and basic tools does the community lack? I did not mean to draw something. I'm going to have to go to select mode. Thank you, Corey, for deleting my inane scribbles. Where are you storing your food? Why is this a risky place to store things? So I'm going to go with the latter there. And because we lack everything.
Yeah, I was about to say, the shorter version is, what do we have?
Yeah.
The answer is Dooners.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, saying what we lack is like trying to count, grains of sand in the desert. We'll never stop. But where are you storing your food? Okay, so I guess our cured and smoked and salted duners that we're keeping for the winter months, we are storing those. So the kind of the steppe area in the northeastern part of the map, apparently our main, is has, as you mentioned, Corey, sounds like a certain degree of like kind of tunnels or underground space beneath the mountains. I'm going to say that we are keeping our food there because it's a little bit cooler. It doesn't spoil. The duners don't go rancid as quickly. But the reason this is risky is because there are giant rodents that also live underground. Like many desert biomes, there's like a lot of burrowing creatures. And I'm guessing there are these like I don't know pit bull sized giant mole rats that sometimes come around. And they have a tendency to eat things because they're resourceful little scavengers. So there's the benefit of a slightly cooler temperature for our like dooner, our roast dooner, our flambé dooner, our cured dooner, our yeah, our mashed dooner, just our locust paste that we eat like as a worse version of Huel. That is we keep that there, but also sometimes it's scavenged by the gigantic subterranean naked mole rats.
Love that.
I would say that there is a considerable amount, but they're farther down, and they come up sporadically but unpredictability, and you get the sense they're way more clever and coordinated than you'd initially expect. Like, yeah. Yeah.
You're going to tell me our two abundancies are sand locusts and
rats.
Giant mole rats?
Giant intelligent rats. So this is an interesting prospect, because if they are an intelligent species, just by a prospect of biology, those brains require a lot of protein, but also come like longer life cycles, like they're elephants or dolphins or us. So there are probably fewer of them. There's probably a relative scarcity of nevertheless very smart mole rats. That works. And I'm sure maybe the locals also have a kind of maybe a semi-derisive. They call them like skinnies, like because yeah, because they're like again naked, thin mole rats that are big. And it's like, ah, shucks, the skinnies got the dooners again.
I like that idea, like with like the main accent. It's like, Skinny's got the dooners again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goddamn. Okay.
I'm going to go for a project, and the project is also going to be based off the heat vent, and this one's probably going to take a relatively long time. It is a nascent attempt to harness geothermal energy and maybe electric current from the heat vents. It's going to require a lot of time. It might even require trying to strip parts and metal from the abandoned military installation. And we might want to do this in sequence, like finding electronics from the military installation that are then used to create a geothermal. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So if we have an abundance of those can be used to start again, very nascent, probably somewhat primitive attempt at harnessing geothermal energy. So let me see if I can draw my very crude attempt at a geothermal plant. Considering I
Yeah,
didn't grow up,
just slap that bad boy on there.
yeah, just despite all appearances, I didn't actually grow up in Iceland. So I will try to see if I can mimic what an actual geothermal plant looks like.
How many weeks do you think that's going to be?
A long ass time. Like I'll leave that to your discretion, but 6. Yeah.
Okay. 6 out of 6.
Yeah.
All right. Tight.
Cool. Okay. This is my. Whoops! I didn't mean to do that. If you can delete the shape, Corey, I'll just draw this freehand.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and make sure I'm drawing from the right thing. There we go. Jack of Spring. You see? Oh shit! Hang on. Okay, thank you. You see a good omen. What is it? Or you see a bad omen. What is it? I'm gonna say that one in the early months of this quiet year, on the third moon, a group of truckers that are transporting clay down from the mountains towards the heat vent. They pass by the dune, which I probably need to get a better get a name for it. They pass by the waypoint, we'll call it, and in the skies they see rows upon rows, fields endless as far as the eye can see of bugs and crops. And like they take this, I think, as a good thing. Mm-hmm. Like it's a sign of an abundance and a security that is yet to come.
Nice.
And I think that that's cool because you can play that either way. Because if it's just rows and rows of bugs, it could also be like a pestilence on the land. But I think they take it as a good omen.
Cool.
Oh. He said on the chat he's going to be back real quick. Yeah, he'll be good. Okay, so let me actually put that. Well, let me put that in here real quick. So, good omen is visions of lots of food, bugs, bugs. Okay, and so the next one is that we count down the projects, correct? Okay. Right. Okay, and then I think I'm actually going to start a project. And this is going to be... Okay. So I think that as the community starts developing all of these different projects, I think that they start to realize that the vehicles that they have only move so quick over the sand. And so I think that they are going to start looking into using some of that clay to try and build like primitive roads. Going like to and from all of these different locations and landmarks. I feel like that's going to be a big project, like 5 weeks. Do you think? Okay. Let me see.
Nice.
Like
Nice.
Yeah, shit. There's not really anything else that we can use. Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, tight. So we're building roads. Road building project to make other projects quicker. I'm going to say that's a big project. It basically spans the whole map, so I think that's going to be a 5-week. We can do 6. I'm down with that too. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll do 6. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say I'll draw it closer to the mountains. Mountains are very busy. Yeah. Um, hey, do you need to go outside? What's going on, man? Do you want to just come up? Oh! Mm. Okay.
So, Taylor, judging by the sound delay and the amount of time it took for your pooch to appear on screen, you're at maybe a 30 to 45-second delay.
For real.
Thank at least on my end. Thank you to your dog for helping me ascertain that.
Yeah, no, he's happy to help. Should I re-roll in if it's that significant? One sec. No, it says I can draw. Okay. It is asking me to draw multiple cards. Oh, it says I can draw, but I can't do it the same way I can with the other decks. I think we're out. Okay. Tell you what, while y'all do that, I'm gonna take my dog out real quick.
Yeah, This is gonna sound funny. I've been slow cooking something on the stove. I'm gonna take that off real quick too.
Come on. Come on, good boy. No, no. Come on. Come on. Okay, sorry about that. Whew. As soon as I got up, I was like, oh my god, I have not peed in so long. Whew. Are... Oh, that's sick.
And I'm back. What can you find, Corey?
Well, wait, to be clear, aren't we in summer now? We just did spring.
I mean, to be fair, I have also lost any sense of time, so, you know.
Yeah, time is not a real thing.
Yeah.
Time is made up.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
That's okay.
Huh. Hmm.
Hmm. Ooh.
Oh, God.
Ouch. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha.
Wow. The only thing left are the skinnies.
Hang on.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I'm realizing these names sound like enemies from like Fallout 2. Oh yeah, like I played those games a ton. I love them to this day. And like, right? And like, it sounds like one of the early missions would be like, oh, you know, clear out this den of skinnies, but don't, you know, go too far or else you get, you know, attacked by a glasser, which you can't really fight until level 8, and you're only level 2, so you don't really want to really tip that one.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's also, I love that. That sounds like a formative Steve and Corey story. Because Steve, very good and like very smart and logistically sound in how he plays video games. I totally understand how he would not want to ever take bloody mess. Yeah, I need it. I want to see things turn into a fine red paste.
Hmm.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's an interesting question. I think you alluded to this. Do people have almost like a religious attitude towards pieces of technology that still function but they don't understand? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my interpretation of it was also it depends on where you're at geographically. If you're in one of the major cities, then probably not so much.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in maybe a more rural area, they might have a little bit more of a like religious tint to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. And then do we count down now the rest of the projects? Hell yeah.
Excellent. And we're still drawing from springtime?
Oh boy.
There's another community somewhere on the map. Where are they? What sets them apart from you? This could get real funky.
Yeah. Then a lightning storm called Corey Davis destroyed it.
The Davis front rolled across the horizon. Yeah, that night the vision scene of the sky was just this cackling blonde lunatic with like two middle fingers in front of his face like this. Or what belief or practice helps to unify your community? These are both real juicy. Ooh, this is like the thing is like this is the first part of that we would have to like be really thoughtful about it because like that could lead us into a whole like series of different directions. Another community versus a belief or practice that helps unify your community. Okay, this one could be. I'm thinking of there's a small because it sounds like our communities are all sedentary, correct?
It seems like it.
There's a small like I guess you could say nomadic community or tribe that follows the seasonal patterns of the Duners.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are not many of them because
What do they call themselves?
the children of Dune. I don't know. They call themselves the Dune Seekers, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, and again, not a lot of them because like many non-settled nomadic communities, like they can't really afford to like sustain too many members or extra mouths to feed. But you've got a small group of folks who follow the seasonal patterns of the duners and presumably eat them. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Or I don't know. Like I know to like kind of like turn your narrative. It's also possible that like they go somewhere and then they come back seasonally. So they migrate. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
When we move into fall or winter, they might be gone.
Yeah. They might go somewhere that is
Well,
less cold.
for right now, then they're still in abundance, but
Hmm.
later in the game, they'll become not in abundance.
Hmm.
Fair. So, is our only abundance circuitry monsters? Cool. Okay.
I love how we created
This
Hell
place,
World. Good for
this
us.
place, this place seems like I want to raise my kids here. You know,
You know
my parents grew up here. My grandparents grew up here. Yeah, there's
it's
lightning monsters and no water, but
it's an idyllic place. The children can play freely across the horizon before being destroyed by gigantic electrical monsters. Um, every once in a while, one of the skinnies accidentally abducts one of our kids, and they join the Society of Naked Mole Rats. They're raised by gigantic intelligent rodents as one of their own. My dad can fuck up your dad with his molars.
okay. Ooh, hell yeah.
Hmm. Cool. So, project discovery or conversation. I'm going to go with another project, assuming we're not overloaded on those. And that is now that we have realized that the living patterns of the duners are seasonal, that they are migratory. Um, I would suggest a project that involves harvesting as many duners during this present time of
Yep.
abundance to preserve them for the winter months when they leave. So that would involve, because like I'm assuming we're in a desert, there might be a considerable amount of salt, maybe, or sort of harvesting the duners and finding various ways, whether drying them or turning them into like I don't know, duner soylent, or like finding some kind of way to preserve them. Harvesting large quantities of these desert locusts and turning them into a consistent protein source for the leaner months.
Yeah, I love it. What do you think? What do you think in terms of weeks for that?
That would probably not be too long. I'd say maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
Well, at least 3 weeks to get things done. Like, assuming if we're like brining the duners and preserving them in salt water, that would like,
Yeah, I mean that's a time intensive process, but to get the infrastructure set up to begin that project.
yeah, not long at all. Yeah. Oh god, I'm
Well,
imagining like,
it's more than that. We're hunting. We're also like perfecting the techniques that we would actually use in theory to harvest them. So I mean, it's not just rounding up a bunch of them. Like it's actually a lot of trial and error.
yeah.
Uh,
Ah, So, oh, sorry not to interrupt you there. I would say we can incorporate the hunting and harvest time within this because, like, I'm guessing that's not going to take too long. I'm just envisioning people in the community with this gigantic dragnet just running across the dunes, just capturing large quantities of locusts. Like, it's you know how the way people trawl for, like, I don't know, fish in the ocean. Yeah, people. Yeah, people are hunting the sandfish, just like running, just like with these nets, dragging them, getting large quantities of locusts. But the process of finding ways to preserve them, or dry them, or salt them, or brine them, or preserve them in, like, I don't know, moonshine, that itself would take, maybe I'd say a month of trial and error. 5 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
Dooner Brining sounds like the name of, like, I don't know, an Irish freedom fighter, like like a socialist revolutionary in the IRA. Dooner Brining, a man who yeah, a folk hero who was tragically assassinated by British loyalists. The Ballad of Dooner Brining.
Oh my god, that sounds like a fucking Dubliners song. Like,
yeah. Ballad of Dooner Brining.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, can you draw me a portrait of Dooner Brining?
You do that, I'm gonna draw like an old, like, black and white photo from the 1880s of, like, a young guy with his, like, comrades about to go to the mountain with rifles. All right, but actually, I'm off to fight the crown. Yeah. All right. So you said the Duders had to congregate around the Whispering Chasm. All right. So, I mean, I'm just trying to get a geographic. All right. So I guess I'm gonna. Yeah, maybe the brining occurs. Actually, would the brining occur in the mountains in the steppe area? Oh, yeah. I mean, it does make sense, geologically, that, like, a civilization would happen in, like, the mountains of a desert region. I guess our people have discovered how to be Kurdish. All right. So here is barrels of Dooner brining right here.
Okay. We're still drawn from spring, correct? We already did it for that turn. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, God damn it. Fucking every time. An old piece of machinery is discovered, broken but perhaps repairable. What is it? What would it be used for? Or an old piece of machinery is discovered, cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it? I know what it is. So in the remains of the geodesic dome, the crew is sort of trying to piece out, like, salvageable materials. We have an abundance of circuitry for sure, but I mean, in the lack of, more resources, you just do what you can with what you have. And as they're cleaning out some of the final rooms of this, they discover an android, which is still semi-operable, but not. They can't turn him on yet. From what they can gather, all of the circuitry in him still is good. There's not a problem with the hardware, but the software itself is more of a problem. What can it be used for? Well, good God, just about everything. This would have been a geodesic dome that, correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, did you say it fell from the sky above this area? So then it would probably have at least some knowledge about like this area, and sort of like what resources we may not know about. Are you? Hang on.
Huh. You sound fine on my end. The only part is I'm having trouble concentrating because I'm still laughing at the Ballad of Dooner Brining.
It's fucking good. It's really fucking good. God damn. Yeah, Corey, I'm not getting myself clipping at all. Are you still getting it on your end? Okay. I'm sorry, bud. Okay. So that is going to be my answer to that question. Okay, and then we need to bring down. So Dooner Brining is 4 weeks away.
God damn it.
Capacitor to catch glassers is 4 weeks. Road building is 3. Geothermal energy is 2. Hey, transportation of clay is done.
Nice.
Corey, tell us about the water den. Yeah, it's out. Corey?
I can hear both of you, is the funny thing.
Oh, okay, hang on. I can't hear Corey at all. Okay. There we go.
Yep.
Sorry.
We're back.
Gotcha. It didn't happen to fix my audio problems, did it? Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, so Dooner Brining is 4 weeks. Build capacitor to catch glassers, 4 weeks. Road building is at 3. Harnessing geothermal energy from the heat vent for electricity is 2. And I have the transport of clay to make the water den as being done. Hell yeah. Okay, tight.
Excellent.
Yeah.
For now.
That's our first abundance of not useless material. I get to do a project now, correct? Okay, we're gonna start looking for. I'm gonna send somebody, send an exploratory team down into the Whispering Well. We're gonna try and map out some of these caverns and hopefully find an easy road in, where we can start mining some of that anti-acoustic rock.
Huh. Nice.
So I think exploratory team, that seems like a quick project, 1 or 2 weeks. Do you have a thought on that as far as between 1 and 2? I'm gonna say 1. I feel like it's in and out. Like that seems like it'd be quick.
No, Adam is lost in thought. Hmm. Huh.
Huh. So
Huh.
what is it about children that make them good for that? Uh-huh. Oh. Oh, stop. You're making the 19th century industrialist all
I was just thinking the same thing. It's like apparently we haven't rediscovered labor rights.
yeah.
I did,
Kids with those little tiny hands.
yeah. I mean, as long as we're doing like 18th century misery, Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we've already had the Ballad of Doon or Briding. We're gonna have to have like a folk singer that like sings about like the poor children that have nearly lost their lives in this getting the circuitry. Anyway, Charles Dickens for the Wasteland. Um, eh. Yes.
So it's good news and it's bad news. So there are small entrances to these areas. We find uh, several miles of tunnel. The bad news, the bad part that comes out of this is that the tunnels are much more expansive than we thought.
Hmm.
On one hand, it's a really good thing because it means we have a huge abundance of this anti-acoustic rock. The bad thing is it's going to make big city building a problem because we're literally talking about almost like this entire map region has caverns running under it, which is going to mean that any kind of foundation for a building that needs to actually sink into the ground uh, is either going to need to be built that much bigger, or it's potentially going to be unstable for basically the entire time it's
Huh.
structured. Um, so they do say what? Um,
Rock
I
of
feel
Ages.
like it's cheating to say Whisper Rock, but I want to say Whisper Rock.
That's
Yeah, I
cool.
mean that's yeah. Okay, yeah, Whisper Rock. And they do find an entrance that sort of peeks out among like this like just lone sand dune like down here in the southwest corner. I'm just gonna do a little happy little sand dune. Yeah, except this.
Yeah, as if we need more local vermin.
Yeah, you know, I felt like our game was lacking in pests.
Yeah.
We have those in the South. They're called silverfish, and they're the fucking worst things ever. They're gross. There.
We just have lobbyists here in DC. Am I right, folks? Politics, many ticks.
Okay. Okay. Capacitor was at 3. If we're reducing it, it should be at 2, I think. Or no, wait, we already did the reduction. Yeah, okay, cool. So we're good. Oh,
Excellent.
real quick, sorry. Corey, how many weeks was it to pull out the city? 4. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so drawing it still from spring.
How many more do we have in spring? Ooh.
Corey, can you delete my scribbling again? Thank you. What group has the highest status in the community? What must people do to gain inclusion in this group? Oh, this is real interesting because there's so many possibilities. So I would say family units, yeah. I think questions of implicit social specialization or even hierarchy are interesting, especially in a place of scarcity. I may go with the first of those, even though family organization is also a cool idea to toy with. What group has the highest status in the community? So it sounds like obviously people who know how to manipulate old tech are people of special value, but that also probably requires significant accumulation of training and knowledge, and also a certain degree of innate intelligence. So I would say there is a, broadly speaking, tradespeople have a special sort of like status or prestige within what I'm assuming is still a relatively lateral social organization. Like this is not a hierarchical, like, you know, agrarian society per se. We're dealing with a bunch of, you know, kind of steppe nomads or steppe people, but still, I'd say those who are identified in childhood as having special intelligence or memory and analytic ability and are trained by their elders in like a sort of like apprenticeship program to manipulate and manage electronics have a certain degree of prestige and respect. So, that's a good question. Wire shapers.
Ooh, hell yeah.
And what they do to gain inclusion, as I mentioned, is children who are seen as being especially intelligent or gifted in this area are picked out by their elders. It's like a completely sort of like internal process among the wire shapers to pass down knowledge and training to other generations of wire
Oh,
shapers.
and to be clear, so they don't do it with their own kids. They actually pick other kids in the community and just say, "Hey, you seem really smart. We're gonna teach you how to do this thing."
Yeah, it's almost like a guild.
Man,
Yeah, it's not even like a family thing. Like, you know, it could be the sort of thing where, unfortunately, if you have a kid that's like better at hunting duners, you're not going to try to force them to be a wire shaper because, you know, that would go against the dictates of the order. You want the best.
You have no idea. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. We love you.
Cool. I'm glad I stumbled into something that melds with the crew here. But yes, the Wire Shapers Guild and the Order of Wire Shapers has now been announced.
Okay. Love that. All right. We do the countdown now. He never smiles.
No, he never smiled. So fierce was he in his fight against the English occupation that he never cracked a smile for 10 years.
He'll never smile until the Queen dies.
And when the Queen died, Duner Briding gave out a small smirk and then promptly croaked. His life's work had been completed. What's up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is an interesting one where it was relatively successful in gathering electricity in the immediate vicinity of it. Like, they're able to, like, convert a surprising amount of, like, thermal energy into, like, potential electrical current, but they really don't have the means to effectively transmit it. Like, their ability to sort of, like, set up, like, transistor stations and, like, large power lines is limited by both resources and not having figured out a way how to do that. So they're not able to transmit electricity from the thermal vents to, like, the northwest, or many of the people are. Any, like, thing that would need to run on that kind of electricity would have to be set very close to the vents, at least for now. So effective in harnessing the electricity, but have only really been able to power things, at least for the time being, in the immediate vicinity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when was the last time we really discovered something?
We've been doing a lot of projects. That water problem was really motivating us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is... this could be potentially, like, really playing with fire. I think I'm not going to necessarily discover something, but I'm realizing the abandoned military installation has gone untouched. And I would say that concerns about the possibility of community self-defense have caused some of the more bolder and innovative wire shapers to consider creating, sort of using the android shells from the that have been found from the abandoned facility in the northwest, and trying to mechanize them as guard patrols using the remnants of weaponry and bullets from the abandoned military base.
Hey.
Yeah, let's have it, because it's such a damn risky idea with also payoff. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Huh. Hmm. Uh-huh. Okay. Cool. Good to know. So, the question I'm going to pose for the community is, should we consider using the mechanized shells or the android bodies for community self-defense?
Oh, I think that I think actually one of the younger members pipes up um, and says, "This is a good idea, but we should get the whatever they're calling the current android, the one that they pulled out of the geodesic city. They're saying we should get that one up and running first, so that we can have one of them at a time that we can control more effectively."
Hmm. And taking all this into account, one of the wire shapers who's not too young but not too old, but clearly someone who probably like has a particular kind of specific mechanical expertise that is even above most of them, says something like, "Very well. We do not need to make any abrupt decision, but we or I can begin exploring how androids could potentially, how sort of automatons could be outfitted with, and he tries to euphemize this a bit, saying defensive capacities, even if we do not ultimately choose to deploy them."
And that man ran for president.
Sadly, yes. And he developed the first weapon contractor.
Yeah.
And then we discovered the first war crime.
Uh,
An intentional dot this time, in contrast to the 10 prior unintentional, like, scribbles
yeah,
we put next to it.
Oh, that is that's the spot where you can see the dancing lights.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The waypoint, I think, is what I call it.
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Okay. King of Spring. A young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it? Or an old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he done? Hmm. Uh, I can't think of anything for a young boy to discover right now, so I'm gonna go with an old man. Uh, so I think that what happens is, in the midst of all of this talk, I think this actually happens during the I think this happens during the conversation about AIs. And there's like all of this concern about arming these robots and the atrocities that robots can commit on other people, and the risks that are just inherent in undergoing that kind of defensive capabilities. I think that this old man pipes up and says, you all have no idea what human beings are capable of doing. And I think that this sparks this whole story where he confesses to being one of the... Actually, Corey, you tell me, does the timeline work here? He would be way too old to be one of the scientists that poisoned Tao, right? Okay, gotcha. Then that's not what it is. How long after the calamity is this? We're like a generation removed? Okay. I think that he confesses to giving survivors inappropriate instructions and directions on how to survive the quick reef, because he knew that he was going to have to compete with them for resources. And I think that he led them straight towards the ocean and they didn't come back. And I think that with that, he concludes by saying, robots are not our problems here. We're our problems. Yeah, no, it's just you. As a matter of fact.
What do you mean we? Yeah.
Robots aren't your problems here. I am.
Yeah, like, buddy, I'm not the one who committed, like, Wile E. Coyote genocide, where I told people that, like, there was, you could survive by walking into the train tunnel in the wall, and they all give themselves concussions in the desert and die.
Warner Bros. Got really dark. Yeah, very much. Very much.
Yeah, but Black Dynamite, I bring a lack of trust in the community. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that everybody suddenly realizes, like, oh yeah, we were all people before we met each other here, and like, and fuck, like Ted was always so cool, but like here he's like, he does like Wile E. Coyote genocide. Like, what has the rest of us done?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And who knows what shadows our elders are hiding? Like, for example, did they drop like a giant novelty piano on an entire orphanage? did yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, did they try to give like a group of desperate refugees exploding cigars? Like, what monsters live among us? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay. How many cards do we have left in spring? Oh, sick. Okay.
Nice. We're now into the wonderful, delightful, temperate summer months.
Yeah. I think that the project goes off without a hitch. We're now able to, particularly the issue with like the water den, I think is basically like kaput at this point. Like you can make it across like this area without like very much trouble at all. The roads themselves will only require like minor upkeep. The choice of using clay turned out to be a pretty providential choice. Like I think that it blends well like with the surrounding environment. Yeah, I don't know. They're roads. I don't know beyond that what to say. They work as designed. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. And you do one now, right? Oh, God, it is me. Okay. Yeah. Jesus. Okay, so I can do a project, I can do a discussion. What's the other one? Make a discovery. I actually think I'm going to go with one more project. And this is going to be the kind of the culmination of like my work as far as like lowering the rope in, mapping out the mines. I think we're going to start excavating some of this rock.
Nice.
And I think that we'll, once this is done, we'll have an abundance of anti-acoustic rock for building projects. Yeah, pretty much. Um, that's got to be a big project. That's a 6 weeker for sure. Okay. Okay. So it was my plan this whole time, you suckers. I saved a week.
Nice.
Uh, well, hang on. Do we want to stop the stream at this point? Okay, fair.
Sounds great. Then we pick this up next week.
Yeah.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Oh shit!
Fuck. Mm.
Interesting.
Like Dooner brining.
Freedom fighter, dude, or writing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes perfect sense because, as you said, this is a group of people that are trusted, looked up to, have a lot of prestige.
Love that.
It wouldn't be hard for them to just basically assume full governance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once you take out those few voices of opposition, everybody else, yeah, just kind of falls in line. You don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's like
Yeah.
when a South American or a South American democratically elected leader suddenly it gets assassinated. It's like, was
Yeah.
it the CIA? It was.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like you have like one like pale faced gringo in like in a village in like, you know, Ecuador being like, how did this happen? Like, yeah. Man,
the world these days, you know?
This country really could benefit from U.S. leadership, don't you think? As he is like blood like kept running down his clothes,
and like getting onto a helicopter. It's like U.S.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta... Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Go.
Yes! Dooner Brining. Dooner Brining comes up from the field of barley, blessed by the parish priest, and aims at the royal highness. And no, I'm kidding. What happens with Dooner?
What was the original project again?
Oh, it was the liberation and unification of Ireland. I mean, no,
yeah, thank you.
It was it was basically to, like, brine the large.
No, I was joking. I know.
Gotcha, because I'd almost forgotten. I wouldn't blame you. But so what happens in this case is they're wildly successful. Like, many Duners are brined in large numbers. But brine Dooner for lunch, dinner, and breakfast the next morning. Brine Dooner flambe, brine Dooner paste, brine Dooner on
so funny.
I don't know. It's just ridiculous. These desert people capturing large quantities of locusts and just salting them in brine water so they can eat them later. This entire community just eating just fistfuls of brined locusts. Like it's no big... Oh, they probably do. They probably have an annual Dooner brining festival where, like, people like bring their family recipes. There's a briner potluck, like a brine Dooner eating contest. There's like the Kobayashi of chowing down on locusts. Who's really popular. He's like the dumbest guy in the village, but sure as shit he can eat briners or dude briners. Dooner brines? I don't know. What's it? I guess we could say that the brine Dooners are called briners.
Yeah.
Okay. More for the lore bucket. But what happens is very successful. Like the people who had taken the nets and chased them across the horizon had got a lot of Dooners. But the only issue is that the brining process is very salt intensive. And as a consequence, is going to potentially lead to certain degrees of dehydration during the winter months if they eat too many Dooners that have been brined. Don't laugh at them. And as is kind of like the case in like many frontier areas or places that have to survive the winter when there's less sustenance, they fall back on like salting and brining, which does lead to potential like salt poisoning or sodium poisoning if they eat too much. So that's a concern, or at least having a higher demand for water consumption during the winter months. I'm glad we got through that part without completely falling into hysterics.
Oh Jesus Christ. I'm going to miss Dooner brining. I know we're going to get into some fun stuff, but...
Yeah, well... Yeah, I'm going to miss it too. But though, to be fair, it will be a potential concern during the winter. There will be a cameo from Dooner brining if we run low on water.
Corey. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. That wasn't me. Oh, yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I thought you were asking me about it. No, my bad. Go ahead.
Huh. Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me that this world has little Techno, the robotic puppies? No, no, I'm talking about the actual real-life toy. I just put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
At least when you said that, I envisioned like, the MIT research that created these dogs that are really just like kind of like quadrupedal, vaguely canine shaped robots. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I'm imagining, shoot down this idea if you want to, one of the more pretentious or literary wire shapers named them lupines.
I like that.
Yeah. Maybe the common people know them as shifters, but their technical name are lupines.
There's one guy who's desperately trying to change. Who's like, no, guys, they're called lupines. Didn't you know? If you read it in the original Latin, they're actually called lupines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, our abundances went up crazy this turn.
Yeah.
Lack of trust ain't great.
The ascent of like a literal technocracy also concerning. Salt poisoning also not great. Yeah.
Oh wait, we're not done, are we? Yeah, you've got one more move to make, and then we're done.
Mm-hmm. Huh. So it's becoming increasingly less voluntary that because previously it would be like, we noticed that like your daughter is incredibly, intelligent or analytically quick. We would like to sort of like begin an apprenticeship. Whereas it sounds like now, since they have more power, they are basically being much more commanding. It's like, look, your kid is coming with us. They're now part of our order, which separates them from their families, giving the wire shapers control over family structures to a point which only augments their power in a less than delightful way. Huh.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Just if you could just put bad under under abundances, that would be good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that really more positive form that's like threatening but not explicit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're taking your kid because we think they're special.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this has been a wonderful first session of The Quiet Year. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here on stream. We will be back next week where we dive more into summer. And hopefully now that we've got the swing of this game, maybe even get into fall a little bit. But yeah, Adam, of course, thank you so much for joining us. We very much appreciate having you on.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for inviting me on. This is great.
Yeah, this is so much fun. The three of us and Tuner Brian wish you all a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. May your Duners always be bride. Cheers.